Hello again, and welcome back to the UnlovedJDM channel, or welcome to the UnlovedJDM channel if this is your first video here. Now, a few weeks ago, I actually bought this, what's the word? Hopeful, optimistic, that's the word. Mitsubishi Evo 4, and since we've got it, I've put it in the corner and gone, right, that's a project for New Year. Now, the New Year is very quickly approaching, as we all know. Let me give you a little bit better look at what's going on with it, and some of its features. Right, now when I first got this car, it did have an entire interior in it. And now we've put this over to one side because we need to see what condition we're actually playing with inside. And on the driver's side, it looks reasonable despite how the underneath looks. On the passenger side, it's a bit more Flintstone than something Japanese, because that's the outside that you can see down there, that's the ramp. But we do have, as I say, the entire interior for it, full Recaros, carpet, etc. There might be a few bits that need replacing, but what we do have is actually quite well intact, so I'm quite happy about that. Let's show you under the bonnet. So under the bonnet, it's no stranger to issues. That entire passenger side hinge has rusted away, that's completely gone. There's a few bits under the bonnet as well that's slowly rusting away, probably too quickly for me. But we do have the all-important 4G63 turbocharger. Gearbox, in theory, that should be alright, but the car has some sort of immobiliser on it, so up to now, we haven't actually been able to start it, but I'm sure when the moment comes to it, and we get a little bit of time to play with it, that's what we'll do. If we can bypass the immobiliser and try to get it running, which is why I suspect somebody's put a new starter motor on it, which I'll show you from underneath in a second, that's probably what they've been trying to do, but we need to bypass this alarm, the immobiliser thing first before we can do pretty much anything with it. But we did get keys for it, so that's always a bonus. Unfortunately, the bad news doesn't end there though, because if we look further down, yes, we're missing a whole radiator, but more importantly, we're missing a whole sort of support department that will need to be replaced and welded in, but that's all in due time. We did put the front bumper on it as well, because it wasn't actually on it when I got it. Other than that, the body itself is badly parked. It's pretty straight, and we get the usual things like these are starting to fade, but we did get the proper little Mitsubishi wind deflector things, which I'm not a big fan of, but they suit the car. So there's plenty of potential there, but there's plenty of work to do to get it to where it needs to be. So when we get under the Evo, this is what we see. A little bit of cardboard. I knew it wasn't clean. I knew it wasn't going to be clean when I bought it. Obviously I bought it blind, as you know if you saw the first video, but this is kind of what you expect. And I'll tell you in a minute why I'm not afraid of any of this. So the bush is replaceable, the arm's replaceable, even all the metalwork, technically speaking, is replaceable. Same all the way down the sill, not pretty, not pretty, not pretty. Same there's a whole lot missing, as you can probably tell. Subframe, not pretty, may go again, you never know. We'll blast that, powder coat it and see what it comes out like. Arms, suspension, again, all replaceable, but some of it may or may not be used again. The reason the car body's there is because it's leaking oil. If you look just above the cardboard, there is a brand new starter motor on it, which is, I suspect for good reason, someone's tried to diagnose an issue with it, which I'll come to in a minute. But same again down the other side, holes in the rails, holes in the floor. That's a big hole in the floor, as you'll see from the inside. The rest of it, it's all here, but it's just really, really rough under there. As I say, none of it surprised me though, but that's kind of how all cars go, and we've been here enough time now to know. The only thing I don't know is this exhaust. I see some welds on it. You might be able to pick it up on camera, I'm not sure, but that looks kind of, dare I say, titanium-ish. Yeah, the tip gives me the same impression. It might not be, it might just be stainless, I don't know. Again, until we take it off and start messing around with it. But the boot floor, same thing. But I did actually get a boot floor when I bought the car, so I'm not worried about that. And then the reason I'm not worried about any of this bit, as you'll see from the inside, is because all this is actually replaceable too. You can actually buy all the pieces that make up an entire floor. So there's as I said, there's plenty of work to be done under there, but we've been here before. None of it's worrying. It's just all, unfortunately, stereotypical rust, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure why they've braided the fuel hose when the metal pipe there has just got a big hole in it. I'm quite sure what that's going to solve, but you know, there we go. That's cars for you. Let's bring it down. And obviously the tyre's flat. Let's bring it down. Now, I'm a Subaru guy, as we all know, and I'm not massively up on Mitsubishis and Evos in particular, but the research that I've done so far has led me to believe that we can actually get the complete floors for this car. And when I bought the car, he sold me with the car the entire sort of boot floor that goes from the rear seats all the way up to the sort of rear bumper kind of area. There's a lot of stuff between there and front, but you know, one thing and another. And then the front half, I've found the entire sort of front floor, and then there's a sort of straight bit under the rear seat that's a separate piece. May or may not replace that, depending on what we decide to do. These are supposedly quite decent parts as well, but they have, I think, a minimum 5 or 6 weeks lead time to get them here. So that's something we're going to look into getting on with. And also, the front panel that's behind there is something else that I've got to order for it, which I can get, apparently. I can get that. I just hope I'm not falling into any traps that somebody else knows about. So if you're doing anything, by all means, drop a comment and let me know. But other than that, I'm quite optimistic that we can get it done. We can get it running. We can get it all assembled and, quite frankly, out the door, because the long-term plan for this Evo is it's not staying. When it's done, it will be sold, but it's got to be how I kind of want it. It's not changing colour or anything drastic like that. It's going back to factory. It will be like a full restoration, I suppose you would call it. To have it running, driving, and get rid of all the stupid little tinted lights and accents and rubbish like that. So I think that's where we're going to leave this video for now, because we need to get really far into it to make any sort of serious progress. So what you might catch in the background of the video, of other videos, should I say, is bits of things happening on the Evo, but the Evo itself will have its own entire video when we make some sort of solid progress on it and have the parts here to do it. It's not forgotten about. It's not gone to the back of the list. Yes, Robert, I'm talking to you, but it is going to happen, and it is going to be quite a car, I think, when it's done. And I'm excited about it. I would say yes, I am. But the thing I'm trying to avoid right now is because there is 3 other cars behind the camera that I can't feature on channels just yet. I've just got to get to a certain point to feature these 3 cars. So this one's kind of sat in a corner for a good reason for now. But anyway, before I ramble too much, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed, and we'll see you in the next video.